Welcome to Intuitive Flow. I'm your host, Mikaela Filar, intuitive energetic healer, medium, entrepreneur, and mindset mentor with the mission to help you step into your fullest potential by giving you the tools to rid yourself of limiting beliefs, love yourself unconditionally, and create the reality that you dream of living. It is time to transform your mindset, get unstuck, and step into the highest frequency version of yourself who has unshakable confidence. I am even answering your juiciest questions regarding all things intuition, manifestation, personal development, self-love, self-image, and helping you work through your dilemmas, intuitively guiding you to expand your mindset and level up in life. So turn up the volume and get excited for this intuitive flow. Hey guys, and welcome back to Intuitive Flow with Mikaela Filar. I decided last minute to do a podcast episode on this, because yesterday I was coaching Awaken Intuition Training Camp level 2, and we had something come up for really everyone in the room could relate. Like even I could relate, because I was like, "Ooh, that's good. Like this isn't something that I've ever really put together, I guess." And so when I channeled it, I was like, "Oh, this is gold. Like I have to share this." And so I shared a little bit about it on my Instagram stories, and now I decided I'm just going to go a little bit deeper inside of the podcast for you guys. So today's topic is going to be all about how sometimes we can put our higher version of ourselves, like the highest version of us, whatever that looks like for you, whoever that is for you, up on a pedestal. And what does it mean when we put things on a pedestal? It means that we make it mean something about ourselves. It means that we think that being the higher version of us is going to make us feel a certain way, right? Maybe it's worthy, maybe it's successful. When I looked into this and I asked, what is the driving factor? What is the root cause of putting your higher self, this higher version of you, up on a pedestal? And it's a childhood wound of, I have to prove myself to be worthy of XYZ. It's also a divine feminine wound, okay? Like the wounded feminine energy. Because, and the reason, I'll go into both of these. So the wounded feminine energy, part in this is truly you being so used to being in your masculine all the time and doing and going, and also feeling like nothing is ever enough, because we were literally built, like the structure, the system, the school system, work life is all wrapped up in this idea that you have to constantly work harder to get what you want. And the feminine energy, the divine feminine energy, is all about receiving. It's all about flow. It's all about doing what feels good. It's about creativity. It's about your moving your body and letting the energy flow through you, and receiving energy and just trusting the universe, right? And I know, I understand, like we have to have both, right? It's the universal law of polarity, the universal law of balance. We have to have balance, and there is balance in everything, okay? So we need the yin to the yang. We need the divine masculine to the feminine, right? But what's happening here, why this wound is in most of us, why most of us can probably relate to this, to putting our higher self on the pedestal, making it mean something about us, is because from a very young age, we were told that we weren't going to be good enough, or we weren't, quote unquote, good girls or good boys unless we were doing our best, or we were constantly performing, I guess you could say, like getting good grades and making good choices and making sure that all of your homework assignments were done on time, and making sure that you right out of high school went to college, and then college got a job, and you got to check all these boxes, right? And so it's makes sense why we have that up on a pedestal. Like we have this version of us, like, oh, well, when I reach this, then I'm going to be successful, right? Or then I'm going to be worthy of love. Then I'm going to be validated. Like I will feel like I am enough, like I've done enough, like I am good. And what's wrong with that is that we don't learn to love the journey because we're so hyper fixated on the outcome. That's one. And two, if you are saying that you're not going to, like, nothing's going to be enough, or you're not going to be enough, or you aren't going to be successful, insert whatever feeling you think that being the highest version of yourself is going to make you feel, unless you reach that or until you reach that, that leads us into self deprecation. It leads us into overthinking. It leads us into anxiety because we live in a fast paced world. And so we're constantly racing after the next thing. And if things don't come fast enough, we're spiraling into self doubt and doubting our ability to make it happen because it's not coming fast enough. And then we're scrolling through Instagram, watching everyone else do all the things and check all their boxes. And you're sitting there like, well, why isn't it happening for me? Why isn't it happening for me? Newsflash, it's not happening for you because you're not sitting there enjoying the journey. You're sitting there comparing yourself. You're sitting there in self doubt and self deprecation instead of living your life and celebrating yourself along the way. I mean, it could be a little bit of that, and it could be a little bit of you actually maybe not doing something that lights you up and that you are super passionate about. It could also be a little bit of you not actually doing what you know it will take in order for you to reach this higher version of yourself because you are stuck spiraling into self doubt, right? Like we've got to stop. It's this vicious, toxic cycle. And it's so not somewhere where we want to be. And it's also so relatable. Like, I'm sure if you resonate to any of what I'm saying so far, like DM me on Instagram and let me know, please let me know that how this podcast resonates with you. And because I channeled this and I was like, holy shit, this is like profound. This is such a breakthrough moment, right? For not just the girls inside of that container, but like for me and for you guys now listening on this podcast, and for the people who DM'd me when I was talking about it on my story and were like, oh my gosh, like I just had like my mind just blew, like my mind is blown. Like I never put two and two together. The reason I have my higher self up on this pedestal is because I've always felt that I need to prove myself in order to feel worthy, in order to feel like I'm enough, in order to feel successful. And I'm not saying, like we always want to strive to be a better version of ourselves, but what the disconnect is that while we're going and striving for that thing, we're not slowing down and appreciating the journey that it takes to get there. We're not celebrating ourselves along the way. We're not looking back on what we've accomplished already and how far we've gotten. And I do not give a fuck if you are not, quote unquote, where you are supposed to be. Okay. The idea of us and this fucking timeline, it just, like if you've been here on the podcast, you know how I feel about that fucking timeline, right? Like it is something that I have battled with for my entire life. And I'm sure that if this resonates with you, you've battled with it too, right? We've got this idea in our fucking brain from societal pressure that we have to have everything that we want by a certain fucking timeline. And I'm cussing a lot because I'm so passionate about this. It's just flowing, right? This is just flowing. I'm just straight downloading this right now in the moment. But we got to get rid of that timeline. We've got to just enjoy the journey while constantly growing and evolving, because that is what we are here to do. You've got to remember, you've got to keep this at the forefront of your fucking brain that we are literally here on earth to grow and to evolve and to learn lessons. That is why we're here. That is your fucking purpose on earth. So if that is your purpose, you are literally already living your purpose. You are. So stop rushing for some grand fucking end all be all for you to check all your boxes. Oh, I've got, a boyfriend, or I'm married, or okay, cool. I got graduated high school, went to college. I met a boyfriend. I got married to the boyfriend. I had kids. I uh got somewhere in there, I have this amazing career, or whatever it is for you, whatever that timeline looks like for you. Okay. And I have to have all of that done by 30. And if I don't have it all by 30, then holy shit, I'm behind. I'm old for where I'm at in life. And that is so far from the truth. I was talking to a girlfriend the other day, and she brought up this it's such a good point. It's like we are living so much longer than we used to live. Like the human race is living a lot longer than we used to live. And that just means what? We have so much more time. We have so much more time to, this is like on a logical point, we have so much more time to live our life and to figure out what it is that we are excited about, or figure out what it is that we are, wanting for our life. If that is the traditional, college, husband, babies, married, career situation. If that's what you're putting up on a pedestal, like, let's get that off the pedestal. Obviously, like the whole point of this is just taking all of that, taking that version of you who has all of that off of the pedestal, right? Whether that's maybe you wanting to, like, here's the thing too. It's like you might look at somebody who has all of those things, who has checked off all of these boxes, and they're sharing the highlight reels, right? They're not sharing the shit that they're going through behind the scenes, right? They're not sharing the late nights. They're not sharing the quote unquote finding their pink, right? Getting their pink back because it was borrowed by their baby, whatever, like they're not sharing a lot of people are not sharing the hard parts. They're just talking about how incredible it is. And I'm not, I mean, I have no idea, but I'm sure it is incredible. I'm sure there are parts of it that are incredible. But again, universal law of balance, everything has an equal part good and bad. It's energy, it's how it works, it's universal law. Okay. So you've got to remember that when you're seeing the good, don't just focus on, oh, well, they have XYZ and I'm behind. Like, you got to remember that, first of all, they're on a totally different timeline than you. And your timeline is divine and special and unique to you. There is no such thing as comparison, because you were put here on earth with a soul contract that has everything that's meant for you. And what is meant for you will not miss. What is meant for you will not miss. Okay. And if you have a desire to make something happen, or for your life to look a certain way, it's inevitable. As long as you're taking the actions that you need to take, as long as your beliefs are backing up what the energy that you need to hold to obtain what it is that you want to obtain, it's fucking yours, sis. Own it. Start to celebrate yourself. The fact that you even are wanting to, let's say it's graduate college with straight A's, or have a baby, or get married, or travel the world, whatever it is, whatever your desire is, whatever your perfect life is, we've got to take it off of the pedestal and get so proud of the fact that we even have that goal, that we even have that desire. Like the fact that you even have those thoughts, right? The fact that you even have those thoughts means that you have somewhere deep down a belief in yourself that you have what it takes to make it happen, right? Because you do. It's just, that's your higher self. Like, hey, like, This is possible for you. This is why you have that desire in the first place. Get out of your fucking head. But that's what happens is you see other people doing it and then you spiral into self-doubt. Or you think that you're not on, it's too late, quote unquote, too late for you. It's not too late. Start the business. Whatever it is. Start traveling the world. Buy your plane ticket. Stop making excuses because that's all it boils down to. What are the excuses that you're making for yourself? Like, you have what it takes to make it happen. You've just got to get out of your own way and stop dwelling on the limiting beliefs that are floating around your head because you're busy comparing yourself, but there's no such thing as comparison. So whenever you catch yourself comparing yourself, you got to remember, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I'm doing that. Talk to yourself like, I'm so sorry that I'm doing that. I'm so sorry I'm comparing myself. I'm so sorry that I thought for even a second that I can't have that. And great news. If you're catching, if you're catching yourself surrounded by people who have what you have, that just means you are an energetic match to have that thing. So let's say you really want a baby. You really want a baby. And all your friends are having babies. That just means that you're an energetic match to have that baby. It's the same thing with getting married or finding a boyfriend, right? Finding a significant other. If you want a healthy relationship that calms your central nervous system, makes you feel safe, and where he treats you like a fucking queen, then you're going out into the world and you're seeing a bunch of happy couples. I mean, assuming that they have the type of relationship that you desire, that just means that you're an energetic match and it is that much closer to that manifestation tipping point, right? That tipping point where you are just holding the energy. You've held the energy for so long that it has the universe has no choice but to deliver. All right. The universe has no choice, but it is your job. The only job that you have is to hold the energy that you need to hold in order to achieve that thing, in order to obtain that thing, in order to embody that version of yourself. I have to interrupt this incredible episode to share with you the Power Portal. What is the Power Portal? It is the space for women who are ready to step into their power. 365 days dedicated to embodying the version of you who has it all, manifesting your dream reality, honing in on your intuition, and fully upgrading your energy. This is the space where women go from self-deprecation, people pleaser, self-doubt, to that girl energy, boundary setter, intuitive queen. I created this space because I was thinking about all the times I had reinvented myself, when I stopped settling for situations that drained me, when I tapped into my intuition so deeply that I started making the right moves effortlessly, when I shifted my energy so much that I became magnetic as fuck to money, love, and opportunities. Then it hit me. I didn't figure it out. I embodied it. I lived in Delulu land and pretended that I was already the version of myself that I wanted to be, that I was the version of myself who had everything that I desired to have. Every massive breakthrough I had came from mastering my energy, rewiring my self image, skyrocketing my self love, and stepping into the frequency of my next level self before she even existed. And I thought, why isn't there a space for women so that they can tap into this level of transformation all year around? A place where they're constantly activated, expanded, and guided to shift their energy in real time and fully own the version of themselves who get everything they want. That's why I created the Power Portal. It's a space where you're not just working on yourself, you are actively becoming her. It's where intuition isn't a struggle, manifestation isn't a question, and your energy is your greatest flex. Let's be real, you already know that you are meant for more. You feel it, you dream about it, you almost step into it, but something always pulls you back. The doubts, the overthinking, the patterns that keep you repeating no matter how much inner work you do. That's where the power portal comes in. This isn't another self-improvement program. This is energetic mastery, a space where you will rewire your self-image, hone in on your intuition, and fully embody the version of you who effortlessly attracts everything she desires. What you can expect in this space is 12 months together. Level 1 of Awaken Intuition Training Camp, which is 6 weeks where you will be able to learn the basics of honing in on your intuitive gifts. We are all born with intuition. This course teaches you how to reconnect to your inner knowing. 1 monthly group intuitive mini Q&A. This is where you will get your questions intuitively channeled by me each month, getting clarity on steps to move forward in life, manifesting your desires, any energetic blocks, and so much more. 2 monthly group trainings with a new topic each month. This month in March, we will be diving into money mindset and manifesting abundance. We are stepping into our rich bitch era. I will also be including quarterly guest expert trainings where I will bring in guest expert from different fields to give a training on their mastery, followed by a group Q&A with the expert. There's a community Telegram chat where we actually chat. This will be a safe space that you have to connect with like-minded baddies who just get it. Guided meditations to protect your energy and heal on a subconscious level. Journal prompts and homework, and of course, secret ingredients that you need to program your creator field to magnetize love, success, abundance, and so much more. I truly hope to see you inside. The version of you that has everything that you want already exists. You just have to align with her by embodying her right now, by making the decisions that she would make right now. That is how you become the version of yourself that you want to be, by actively being her and making the choices that she would make. It's time to step into that person, that energy. All of this is yours for $333 per month for 12 months. Or if you want to be a VIP baddie, go ahead and upgrade for $555 per month for 12 months, where you will get one-on-one intuitive energetic healing sessions with me quarterly. There is absolutely no excuse. You can make it happen. If this is something that you are feeling called to, if this is giving you a full body yes, then jump in. That is your higher self trying to guide you on the next step that you need to take to become the version of you that you desire to be. If this sounds like something you are ready to jump into, make sure you check out the show notes below, where I'm going to be placing all of the details that you need to claim your spot today. I hope to see you inside of the power portal. Let's get back into today's episode. Oof, this is good. I'm feeling it. I've got some stuff written down, so I'm just kind of going to look at my notes for a second. But you guys, I'm so passionate about this because I'm just so sick of everyone, comparing and thinking that you're not enough, because you are. You are more than enough. And I'm going to get into this. Okay, so I can tell you to take your higher self off the pedestal, right? I can tell you, take it off the pedestal. You're like, what the fuck does that mean, Mikaela? Like, how do I even do that? Okay, so this is how you're going to do it. First, I want you to get clear on who that version of you is. Like, who is the highest version of you? And if you were in my manifestation vision board party at the beginning of the year, I had it on 111. It was so much fun. The girls in there thrived. If you did take that class with me, and I want to know, like, check in with me, DM me, let me know how things are going. Love you so much. But you already are clear. Like, if you didn't take that class, then get clear on who that highest version, who is the version of you that you have up on this pedestal. What does she have? What has she accomplished, or he? I know that like 95% of my listeners are women, so get clear on who that higher version of you is. Okay, so that's your step number 1. Then I want you to ask yourself, what do you think you're going to feel once you've accomplished those things? So, this is just a little bit of journaling here. What do you think you're going to feel once you achieve those things? Is it success? Maybe it's that you've checked all your boxes. Maybe it's that you've done enough. Maybe it's that, you're skinny enough or you're hot enough. Maybe you have like, this higher version of you is lost weight and is her healthiest self. Like take that bitch off the pedestal. Nothing changes if you do not fall in love with exactly where you're at now. Like if you do not fall in love with who you are right now, things aren't going to get better because you're just going to be stuck in that cycle of self-deprecation. So you got to pull yourself out of it. And I know it's easier said than done, sis. I have been there, but if I could do it, you could do it. Period. Okay. So how do you already have those feelings? Now that you've gotten clear on what the feelings of having those achievements or those things or that body is going to make you feel, write them down. Write them down and ask yourself, where in my life do I already have this? Or have I already accomplished something that's just as big that I once had on a pedestal and then I completed it, I achieved it, right? If I did it once, I could do it again and I've already done it. So like, let's celebrate that. And also let's celebrate the fact that I'm even wanting to grow more. Like you are a badass bitch. You go, girl. Yes. Right. So if we are constantly chasing this higher version of ourselves without celebrating ourselves for how far we have come, nothing is ever going to be enough. Nothing is ever going to be enough because every year you're going to create this new version of you. And if you're not celebrating yourself along the way, if you're not loving yourself wholeheartedly, unconditionally, loving yourself inside and out, then it's not ever going to be enough, no matter what you do. And you're always going to be stuck in that cycle of self deprecation. You're always going to be stuck in that toxic cycle, and you want to get out of that, right? Right. So, one of the things that I do for this is a neuroscience hack. So, again, pull out your notes, pull out the notes app in your phone and title it achievements. And you're going to be doing achievements in your health, business, personal, any type of achievement, anything. Literally, I made my bed today because in the beginning of me clocking my achievements, I was just so hard on myself. I was so in my masculine energy too of just like go go go, nothing's ever enough. You have to keep performing in order to be enough, right? Like no. I had to pull myself out of that. I had to realize that like there are so many things that I have accomplished in my life. What are those things for you? Big or small? And stop looking around yourself. Just look at your life. Maybe it's that you've accomplished being happy. Maybe it's that you've accomplished pulling yourself out of a dark night of the soul situation like depression or anxiety. Maybe it's that you went through your entire childhood with ADHD. Guilty here. Maybe it's that you went through your entire childhood without a dad or without a mom. Or maybe you had both of them, but they weren't emotionally available there. They weren't there for you. But that's something to be proud of because that made you strong and it turned you into who you are today, which I know that's cliche, but it's the truth. And nothing happens on accident. There's a reason for everything. And I know that's also cliche, but that's also the truth. You might not see it now, but you will eventually. One day it's all going to make sense. Like I've trained myself, if I do perceive something as bad, I ask myself, what's good that can come of this? What's good that has come of this? What's possible? What's good like things that have come from this quote unquote bad thing, right? Nothing is fully bad or fully good. Everything is equal. Everything is in balance. So it's not It's just your perception that you have to shift. So if you're seeing something, if something traumatic has happened to you, if something really bad has happened to you, if something that you don't fucking understand why, get clear on that. Start to ask yourself, what could be beneficial from this? What could come of this? How can I help others because I went through this? Right? That's where the magic is. And that's what we're all here to do. Like, we are literally here to live our lives, to learn lessons, and then to share those lessons with the world so that we can raise the consciousness of the collective. That's why we're here. Whether that's what you do for a living or you're just sharing it with your friends, your family, and maybe some people that you meet randomly, but you have no idea the impact that you're even making from doing that, from helping others. So if there's anything, any way that you can help, that you think that you can help somebody, like, just go out and start doing it. It's going to have a ripple effect and it's all going to come back to you. It's good juju. I got a little bit on a tangent there, but clock your achievements. Now, this is probably the most important thing because we cannot heal anything. We cannot move forward from anything if we have this limiting belief that is rooted deep in our subconscious, right? Because this is a deeply rooted subconscious belief. And I personally, like, this came up for me from my dad, like, not really being, like, just being in and out. Like, I didn't spend a whole lot of time. I never felt really connected to him. So I was always trying to prove that I was going to be, like, good enough for him to show me love, which I know that sounds really sad, but I'm not the only one. And I know I'm not the only one, but that's where this deep rooted belief, that is why I put this higher version of myself up on this pedestal. I wanted him to be proud to call me his daughter, right? And I just never felt like he was because he never told me he was. He never showed that love and affection. He never, I could go on and on, but, like, I'm not going to because that's not what this episode is about. But ask yourself, what is the root cause of this belief? Where did it come from? And then you've got to heal that. Whether that's in a one-on-one session with me, whether that's you journaling it out, whether that's you going to therapy for it, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, you've got to heal. You've got to pull it out from the root. Pull it out from the root. Because you can just, cut the grass and cut the weeds and with scissors, right? You can just get the surface level shit. But if you're not pulling that belief out from the root, rewriting it, shifting it, and healing it from the root, guess what? That shit's going to grow back. It's not going to disappear. You're always going to have this limiting self belief deeply rooted in your subconscious where you believe that you have to constantly prove yourself for X, Y, and Z. And because you subconsciously believe that, you're going to subconsciously sabotage shit for yourself. So we've got to pull it from the root. Where did it come from? Clear it, debunk it. You are enough as is. And I know I've given this analogy a lot, and that analogy is the baby. Think about a baby. Think about a baby when they are born. They don't have to do anything to be enough. They are already enough. All they do is eat, sleep, and poop. And they are enough. We love them. We shower them with gifts, with love. There is nothing that they can do wrong because they're a baby. And what happens between being a baby and now, where you're at now, right now in this moment? Societal pressure, conditioning, not feeling like you're enough for your parents, not feeling like you're enough because you didn't get into into the college that you wanted to, right? Not feeling enough because you didn't get the job that you wanted. Whatever it is, whatever life experiences that happen that make you feel like you're not enough, you've got to understand rejection is just God's protection, God's source universe, whatever word best resonates with you, right? It's just protection. So It's important in that moment where you're not feeling like you're enough, or you're not celebrating yourself because you don't feel like there's enough to celebrate. You got to remember that that's the farthest thing from the truth. That is the farthest thing from the truth, because you have been through so much. It doesn't matter what you've been through. I know you've been through a lot. Your trauma, like, it doesn't compare to anyone else's trauma. Don't think that, oh, just because you didn't experience something very traumatic, that didn't go through a lot, that your trauma isn't enough to feel like you really accomplished healing from whatever it is that trauma was, right? Like, you have gone through it, you have persevered, you are still breathing, you are still here, and there's a reason for that. And that is to be celebrated. Life is to be celebrated. You are to be celebrated every day. We should be celebrating ourselves every fucking day. I want you to think about, like, going back to being a child. Treat yourself. Let's say you have, childhood wounds of not feeling like, I mean, if this resonates with you, the chances of this being the truth are high. But if you have that childhood wound of feeling like you need to go and achieve and prove yourself in order to get that validation or that attention that you want, I want you to start giving yourself that now. Slowly but surely begin to heal that childhood wound by giving all of it to yourself right now. If you draw a picture and you're a 2-year-old, what are you going to do? If that 2-year-old version of you comes up to you and hands you the picture and is so excited to share that photo with you or share that drawing with you, and you're looking at it, you're not just going to fucking crumple it up and throw it in the trash can and walk away from the 2-year-old, are you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're going to look at it and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. That's so amazing. Great job. Like, literally, that is what I want you to treat yourself like, even for the smallest things. You make your bed in the morning. Amazing. I'm so proud of you. You are a badass bitch. Let's go. Stop comparing yourself to the girls who wake up and walk outside and sit in the sun to do yoga and stretches and then meditate and then read and then journal and then mouth tape and heatless curls and just, oh god, it's just, the overconsumption is crazy. And because of the overconsumption, we're thinking that, like, we need to do X, Y, and Z all the time every morning to be successful, and we don't. Like, whatever your morning routine is, that's your morning routine. Whatever feels the best for you, if all of that feels the best for you, then you go, girl. But, like, just because one person is doing it doesn't mean that it's right for you. You got to pick and choose and learn and see what works best for you and what feels good for you. If something doesn't feel good for you, then don't do it. It's as simple as that. This is your permission slip to stop doing shit that doesn't feel good. What's the point? I mean, it's like journaling. I used to put journaling on my to-do list. Like, every morning I should journal. I don't feel the need to journal every day anymore. Like, I don't really love doing it. My hand hurts. I'm left-handed, so my hand, like, it smears the pen. Like, I don't know. Not really a fan. So I still journal. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not something that I take time to do 5 minutes every day, because the journal entries that I do when I'm doing that aren't as, like, deep and transformational. Whereas now, when I journal, when it feels good and I feel like journaling, that's when my journal entries are actually, like, profound, and I'm writing down things that, like, I've learned, or things that have happened in my life that I feel are important or need to be journaled about, or that I need to work through, right? Like, that's when I journal. Anyways, what I'm getting at here, this was another tangent, was that you want to treat yourself like a 2-year-old. You've got to celebrate literally everything that you do. Celebrate you getting out of bed. If that's as much as you can do today, then celebrate that. And slowly but surely, you're going to start doing more and more and more. Okay. Okay. That is all I have for you guys today. I love you so much. If you like this episode, please do me a favor and save it or give me a rating and review. That would be amazing. That helps my podcast grow and get into the ears of those who need to hear this message. If you can think of a friend that needs to hear this, send it to them. Screenshot this, share it to your story, tag me. I love to repost you guys when you guys, resonate with the podcast episodes. And I love you so much. I'm so unbelievably grateful for you. I'm so happy to be of service to help you and guide you through your healing journey or just in life in general. And I hope this helps. And like I said, DM me, let me know if it does, if it resonates. And I love you. I'm so grateful for you. And as always, I'll chat with you on Tuesday. Bye.